Australian currency has experienced many changes in the years since 1900. From the humble penny to the world currency markets, let's take an informative journey with Australian currency expert Alexis Ryan and find out how some of these changes came about.
Hello, I'm Alexis Ryan and I'll be talking to you about Australian currency and how it has changed since 1900. Today we will learn about imperial and decimal currency, where and how money is made, and what has affected the value of Australian currency in the last 100 years. In Australia's history, we have known two types of currency, imperial and decimal. Imperial currency was the name of currency from 1900 to 1966. It was the same currency used in the United Kingdom. Australia began making its own imperial currency in 1910. Some of the names of the different coins they used are shillings, pennies, sixpence, threepence, sovereigns, crowns and half shillings. The notes were known as pounds came into values of 1, 5 and 10 pound and also 10 shillings. The reverse of the side of imperial coins featured the reigning British monarch. When the monarch changed, new coins were issued with the changed design. Decimal currency replaced imperial currency on the 14th of February in 1966. The Australian government built the Royal Australian Mint in 1965 to be ready for the change. The new name for the decimal currency was the dollar. The reason for the change to decimal currency was to make money calculations easier. The first coins of Australian decimal currency were the 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 and 50 cent pieces. The 50 cent piece began as a round coin and was changed to a 12-sided coin in 1969. The $1 coin was introduced to replace the note in 1984 and the $2 coin replaced the note in 1988 as part of the bicentennial celebrations. Decimal banknotes were the 1, 2, 10 and $20 notes. The $5 note was introduced after a year of decimal circulation in 1967 and the $50 note was introduced in 1973. At the time of the bicentennial in 1988, it was decided to change from paper money to a new type of plastic material known as polymer. Some of the reasons for this decision were that it would be harder to counterfeit or copy them, and they would last 4 times longer than the old form of paper. Australia was the first country in the world to use polymer to make banknotes and now makes polymer notes for other countries in the world. Old polymer notes are recycled by being turned into granules and used to make plastic products such as compost bins. As the value of currency changed and the cost of buying things went up, some coins and notes weren't practical. The 1 and 2 cent coins ceased in circulation in 1994, 10 years after the $1 and $2 notes were replaced by coins. It is rumoured that the 5 cent coins days are numbered and will stop circulation in the next few years. In the early 1900s, there were mints in Sydney, Melbourne and Perth, all making imperial currency. When currency changed to decimal and Royal Australian Mint opened in Canberra, the Sydney and Melbourne mints closed. The Perth Mint continues to run, but only to make collector coins. All of Australia's coins are minted at the Royal Mint, but banknotes are made at a government banknote printery, which is a part of the Reserve Bank in Melbourne. The first step in making coins is to make the design, which is done by an artist. All of Australia's everyday coins have a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the back. A plaster model is then made of the design, and a die, which is a hard piece of metal, is made and put into each side of the stamping machine. Then a blank is made from metal. It is rimmed, heated, cooled, washed, polished and dried, ready to be stamped. The blank is put in the middle of the stamping machine and hit at the same time by the dies to create both sides of the finished coin. Banknotes are printed at a printer in large sheets that are later cut into notes. The first step is to make a design done by an artist. The design has lots of detail to make it hard to copy. The design is made into printing plates and is put into printing machines. The printing machines have inks and the banknotes are printed onto large sheets of polymer. The machines can print both sides at once. Then the notes are cut by a large guillotine. Polymer notes have 2 coats of varnish after printing to keep them clean and protect them from wear and tear. The value of currency is constantly changing and different things affect the price of goods and how much currency can buy. Usually an increase in how much the population spends will make the cost of items rise. Some events which changed the value of currency and the cost of living were the 2 world wars, the introduction of currency into the world market, and big financial events like the current global economic crisis. An example of how the cost of a product has changed over the years is this graph of the cost of a can of Coke. In 1900, Coke was about 5 cents for the equivalent of a can, and its price has risen over $2 a can now. And so we see as time goes on, the needs and growth of society change, its use and development of currencies, and who knows, in 100 years' time, we may be handing over a $1,000 note for a pair of jeans.
Money, money.